Right, I should be live now. Let me see something. Play these ads before I start.
They gon' need to raise the rim. They gon' need the cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will still Chamberlain. Even Damien and Satan is afraid of him.
Oh, word? And they was talking all that hot ish. Where the prophets ain't apostles, here the gospel is the gossip. I'm a science project, try and pocket this rhyming process. Watch us in formation, going through lines. Fiber optics, this is Miley Cyrus in her freak phase. The naked truth, don't be Ray Caruth in a trunk pump, just take the truth. Shit, Daisy Dukes at a night show. I raid your room, change the mood. That was like though, yeah. Break a fuse if they refuse. This snapping, shots without the flashes. If I was ever in a pit with you, that's harassment. Your storyboard magic that had it. To be real, our ears over the field like 100-yard passes. Score the basket, order more caskets. Only way they getting bypasses is gastric. I'm tapped in, it's too late. Fix your face, this is sleeping on a killer in a cabin by Crystal Lake.
All right, what's happening, family? Let me get this right. Last time I had the white screen on there for like 5 minutes. Y'all was like, Rich, what up with the white screen? Yeah, you know, I'm still adjusting to this live stream thing. Today's show going to be a quick show. Nothing long. To be honest, I'm about to get, I'm in New York. I'm in the Brooklyn area of New York right now. I'm about to get Verizon Fios. And my internet sucks in Brooklyn internet is absolutely horrible. So I haven't been doing the video live streams, but there's this company, Verizon Fios. They got the optic cables and all that. They're about to come through to Brooklyn. And I think it'll be much better for my video live stream. So once I switch over to that, I'm going to do more video live streams, Verizon Fios, because what's this company I got? Optimum. Yeah, Optimum is absolutely horrible. If you're in the New York area, in Brooklyn or the Bronx something, you know how Optimum do you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Optimum is absolutely horrible. But peace to everybody in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat, man. Yeah, Fios is great. I got it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's like a, you know, their technology is different from Optimum and all these other companies. So shit, man. Yeah, so shout out to everybody in the chat. We're gonna have an interesting conversation tonight. I see the verse goes hard. Yo, a quick couple of announcements. Sunday we having a video shoot for the GOAT remix, Black Magic featuring Cambada, Loaded Lux, at Rucker Park in Harlem, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you in Harlem, if you're in the New York area, and you would like to be in the video, you would like to be an extra, we're gonna the main shooting area is in Rucker Park basketball court. So if you just come out, show support, be an extra, get your face in the cameras. This video is about to go viral. Shout out to Lux. His new song Gravy's on the radio. So shout out to Lux. My man is doing it right now. It got a nice little bounce to it. You know what I'm saying? You can move to it. It's rhythmic. So shout out to Loaded Lux for he got his new track Gravy. I forget the young sister name that's on the track with him, but it's on the radio, New York radio right now, and requested internationally requested, man, so we can get this thing going everywhere, man, because it got a nice feel to it. You want to do things that feel good. This music that feel good. You know what I'm saying? Music is very, very powerful. It's very influential on our DNA and our genes. So when you listen to music, you want to make sure it raises your vibration and raises your frequency. And this track here from Loaded Lux, Gravy, it definitely does that. So shout out to Loaded Lux for the new heat that he put out in the streets. And let me see what y'all saying in the chat room. What up, Rich? What up? Okay. Those two deserve each other. You talking about Candace Owens and Kanye. They said, Candace is mad sexy. Do you live near the pills? No, I don't live near the pills, though. No. I used to live next to Blue Pill, but Blue Pill moved. He sizzled that Black Magic track. Okay. All right. Yo, so listen, like I said, I'm not gonna be too long-winded. I just wanted to give my opinion and my about something that I see being a continuous problem with people. I want to say black people, but I guess everybody, in particular black people, because we have a unique experience, and I don't want to be so spiritual that I'm scared to say black, and that's part of what I'm going to talk about tonight. But the people we call black people have a unique experience, so I think what I'm about to talk about applies more to us, more than a lot of people. This situation with Candace Owens, Kanye West, could be a very powerful teaching moment to people all over the world in terms of our mindset and how we think. And they say we went from the Piscean age to the Aquarius age, and with that change, they talked about 2012 and the end of the world. It literally was the end of the world, but because of our the way we think as human, this human brain, and we think with logic and reason, we think in literally the end of the world and destruction and mass chaos. But it was the end of a certain mindset. It was the end of a certain thought paradigm. It was the end of a certain frequency, and there's a new frequency rising. And that's why you see everybody scrambling. Everybody's trying to find their new position. And the old gatekeepers are dying off, and the new gatekeepers are fighting each other because they're like, yo, for position. So the new gatekeepers is like, yo, there's positions available. If there's a job that you're applying for, there might be 1,000 applicants. Right now, in this new frequency, new paradigm, new age, they call it the Age of Aquarius. People, there's a lot of applicants right now. There's a lot of positions available to be filled. So, the applicants are fighting each other, and we see that in all the communities, the rap community, the conscious community, the woke community, the political community, the Democrats, the Republicans, people are jockeying for position a lot right now. And we got to keep that in mind. And, it is what it is. We can't change that. The world is changing right before our very eyes. It's very different now than it was in 2010. If you look at 2010 and you look at the world now, it's totally different. Totally different from how we communicate, how people act, the attention people want, just everything. So, with that being said, I'm reading some articles. Kanye recently had that rant, the White House, and Candace Owens came out, and of course she defended him, and it reminded me the talking points Kanye West and Candace Owens have. A lot of people would say they're white supremacist talking points. You would hear Alex Jones, you would hear Fox News, you would hear Bill O'Reilly, who else? Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, I think his name is. You will hear them saying the same talking points that you hear from Candace Owens and Kanye West. Blue Pill urged us to listen to the whole 20-minute interview. I listened to it. It was a lot of coonery going on from Kanye West. A lot of coonery in terms of, when he talked about the police. We killed each other more than the police. And, one of the things Kanye West said that I was like, wow, was when he said that, when they asked him about the George Bush, this was a question he was avoiding for a while. He said that he had at that time when he made the comment that George Bush doesn't like black people, when they asked him that at the White House, the interview that they edited, that we didn't get to see, the edited part said that he said, I had a victim mentality when I made that statement. I had a welfare mentality when I made that statement. And to me, that was more painful, if you want to use that word. I mean, at the end of the day, nothing is painful that anybody says, but to communicate with y'all, like, wow, like I never thought he would say that. I'd rather say that. I never thought he would go that extreme. Let me say that instead. He said, I had a welfare state. I had a victim mentality when I made that statement. That was his defining moment as a human being that captured the attention of the entire world. that made him more than a rapper, made him more than an entertainer, and made him a humanitarian, and made him bigger than life. It made him what Muhammad Ali was when he made that statement, because it showed he had balls. So for him to come back and say, nah, you know what, I had a victim mentality, welfare mentality, it's like, God damn, Kanye, like, you ain't, like, wow, you don't play with this shit. And I want to talk to my people because I noticed a trend happening. And I noticed this trend, the more conscious I became, the more awoken, whatever the term is, whatever, the more aware I became, the more spiritual black people become, the more we learn about, spirituality and our chakras and kundalini and all this fancy stuff that we learn about, the more we reject black nationalism, black pride, even the word black. When we embrace spirituality and we learn about chakras and spirituality, we don't even want to use the term black no more, because we like, I'm an infinite spirit, I am a soul, I am not a black person, or I'm not an African American, or I am not a colored person, or I am not this, I am this, or I'm that. And I get that, and that's what I'm going to talk about. But at the same time, we can also say I'm not a gender, I'm not a male or female, but I got a penis. So, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things, like we have a certain role that, like, this is a play, this is a movie. We heard Shakespeare say it, we heard the ancients say it, we heard everybody say that this is a role down here, this is a movie. So in a movie, imagine in the middle of training day, Denzel Washington in the middle of training day says, I'm not this person. They're going to say, okay, great, Denzel. Do you know what the director's going to say? The rich person that's directing the movie, he's going to say, Denzel, okay, calm down. You're going crazy. Because that's what we do. You're going crazy. Denzel, calm down. I know you're Denzel Washington, but this is a movie. You're just acting. So finish acting out this movie. Be the bad guy. Understand both. Understand you're Denzel Washington in one aspect, and understand in this movie role, you are whatever his name was. I forget his name. But understand you are that person right now. But that doesn't mean you're not Denzel. But you're this person right now. We go crazy because of the trauma we've been through and everything. And just everybody, not just black people, everybody. We think that when we learn about spirituality, it's like, and this is why I've literally family. I would never ever, and this is why I would never ever tell nobody purposely. If I see a Christian or whoever in the street, I would never say, leave that shit alone. You know how people say gutter religion, this and that? Come to this. Nah, you not that. Religion is like, I would never say that. They may need that. I've seen too many people go crazy, leaving religion and coming to these sacred sciences, these mystical arts, this occult knowledge, this metaphysical knowledge, this spiritual knowledge, or whatever you want to call it. I've seen so many people go mad, go insane. And if they didn't go insane, they got so frustrated with it that they went right back to religion to never ever look at this metaphysical information again, and to criticize and condemn everybody that does. So I would never, ever, ever tell somebody to leave what they're into. You stay what you into. I talk about when I talk about, because that's what I'm into. I'm sharing my perception of the world, just like everybody else shares their perception of the world. Every time you walk down the street, somebody's trying to sell you a perception of the world, their perception. They may tell you, hey, black woman ain't shit. You know what happened? Man, this bitch tried to take me into child support and this and that. And you know what? This conspiracy in the welfare system and this and that. That's their perception, and they're selling it to you, wanting to convince you. And I'm not saying they're not wrong. What I'm saying is that's their perception, and they're speaking about it, and you can listen to it, and it's your choice if you accept it or not. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has, that's why they say truth is relative. There's no absolute truth. Truth is relative. Everybody has their own truth. Everybody has their own experience. You know, somebody grew up in Beverly Hills, they might not have experienced what I experienced. So when I talk about my encounters with the police, they might not understand, and I can't say that they're a house nigga and this and that. They just never experienced, so it's totally off the radar. It's totally not in their brain, their neuron system, their matrix. They totally just don't get it. And some people do, pardon me. Some people do get it, but some people really don't get it. They just, it's totally, they just totally don't get it. There's a lot, and I'm going to give an example personally. Thank you, Raw Facts, for the donation. There's certain things about women that I just totally didn't get until I got older, until I've been with a woman in a relationship for I've been in a committed relationship for years now, you know what I'm saying? And you get to see things, because you're up close and personal. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say you don't understand what somebody's saying until you've been through what they've been through. But the closer you get to somebody, you get to understand them. And there's certain things I didn't understand about women until I really was, close in a relationship with a woman for years. And I'm like, okay, you got to, okay, damn, I didn't look at it like that. So, everybody's going to think how they're going to think because of their experience, their limited experience. Unfortunately, in this life we live, I don't know, let's say 70, 80, 90 years. We don't get to have all the experiences wrapped in one. We don't get to be white, black, Asian, Indian, male, female, ugly, pretty, whatever that means, all wrapped up into one. So we can't encompass all these experiences and come up with a conclusion. So the best thing we could do is to learn from other people's experiences and just understand other people's perception and understand that everything is just a perception at the end of the day. Thank you, Timothy Snipes. This is precious what I'm saying to you, family, tonight. And I appreciate everybody who appreciates it and sends a donation through the super chat. And I appreciate everybody for just being in the chat room, talking to each other, and whatever. So, with that being said, there's a word that I want us to understand, that I want us to become acquainted to, and that is paradox. This is a word that I want us to all, moving into this new age, like I said, the age of Aquarius, I want us to all become familiar with, because I do believe there's somebody I watch on YouTube. His name is Bashar. He deals with metaphysical information, Basher. He deals with metaphysical information, and he says paradox is the point of power. And he has many videos on it. And let me just read you something that I got from one of his videos real quick, because I think once we understand the meaning of paradox and we relate to paradox and we embrace paradox, that's when we'll break through the limited barriers of this space-time reality that we live in, of this perceptual matrix that we live in. You know what I'm saying? For my metaphysical people out there. So let me read you something. There's many definitions of paradox. When people hear paradox, one of the first words they think of is contradiction. But let me read you what was said on the program with Bashar and two other gentlemen. I forget the name of the program. I apologize. But as far as paradox is a holding of two or more separate frequencies of ideas and or action simultaneously without reduction of attention assets from either task. Paradox is beyond logic and reason. So we all know we got a brain. We all know we think logically. We all know we analyze things. But to really understand life and the meaning of life, which we all want to understand whether we want to admit it or not, we have to go beyond the brain. We have to go, and the brain focuses there's something called intuition or gut instinct, or, we got a lot of different names for it, and that supersedes the brain. Even if you're not spiritual, even if you're Christian, no matter who you are, you get this intuitive feeling from time to time, and you disobey the brain. And when you do that, sometimes you be like, damn, oh shit, I listen to myself. You know what I'm saying? And we don't need a religion to tell us about that. But when we listen to ourselves sometimes we find out that the brain don't know everything. The brain is there. Hold on, family. Got a little cold. The brain is there to protect us from what it can see. It's only familiar with the senses that it's given. So it protects us. It tells us, don't do this, don't do this, based on the logical data that you presented to me. The tree that's there, the car that's there, the person that's there, what they did, the college that's there, how much you study, how much did you graduate, the person on YouTube, presents us with all this. Oh, the way that person is dressed, you should do this, you should think like this. About the brain is there to protect us in terms of the information it's presented with, so that the ego is not our enemy necessary. It does what it does. It has a job. job. Just like you have a car, the brakes have its job. You can't ask the brakes on your car to do the job of the engine on the car. The engine is the brain of the car. The brakes does what it does. It stops the car. We're asking our ego or our brain to do things it wasn't meant to do. We have to stop that. The ego, the brain, our logic, senses is meant to do a specific job, and that's it. And that's it. Like they say, emotions is a great servant, a bad master. The ego, the brain, it's meant to do a specific job. So by me saying that, I want to talk about this problem, like I alluded to earlier, as far as black people feeling like, and just what I said about the whole paradox. Let me start there. The whole paradox with it, because the reason why I want you to embrace paradox is because we feel as though we have the paradigm that we just came from, the age that we just came from, the age of Pisces. We have this either or mentality where we feel like, okay, it's gotta be either this or that. Either Kanye is right or wrong, and he's a great example. And it's not just about celebrity talk; it's using celebrities to talk about something big, to talk about something that's so important to us as a people. But we have this either or mentality where, okay, either he's right or he's wrong, or either Candace Owens is right or Candace Owens is wrong, either Donald Trump is right or Donald Trump is wrong, either Hillary Clinton is right or either Hillary Clinton is wrong. The problem with that is that that's not how the world works. That's not how the universe works. And it actually creates a limited, it limits us from our progress. It limits us from our understanding of the world. It limits us from our interaction with the world. So we have to get rid of this either or paradigm, this either or mentality. You know what I'm saying? One of the things about that we have to embrace is that opposite beliefs has to be held simultaneously in this new age that we're thinking, in this new paradigm. It's not this or that. It's this and that. And I talked about this many, many times. Shout out to Minister Jew and Noble Ampool, because we used to kick it a lot about quantum physics. For the people that's in the quantum physics out there, and this is why I'm alluded to, like Kanye studying all the spiritual stuff, and he's coming up with all these conclusions, these ideas, you know what I'm saying? And we think that when we advance spiritually, so called, we think we have to choose. We think we have to be either spiritual or pro-black. So the purpose of me talking about paradox is letting you know you don't have to choose in life. You don't have to choose this or that. And we think we have to choose because we think, hold up, if I don't choose, it makes no sense. Our brain tells us, hold up, if I'm spiritual and I'm a soul, I can't be pro-black at the same time, because pro-black, that's not, you know, I'm not a soul. The soul is colorless. I see no color. I see no gender and this and that. So we think, you know, it has to be either or. So we embrace it. We really don't believe it. We really don't believe it, so our heart's really not into it. So when you hear people talk, you can see the cooning, and that's where the cooning comes in. We think we have to choose. You know what I'm saying? We think we have to choose, and that's where we just start saying things and our heart's not into it. And the people can register that your soul's not into what you're saying, but we don't know what else to do as a people. We've been taught this linear way of thinking. We've been taught this English language that says it's either this or that. We've been taught this logical way of thinking that's saying you have to choose. So we go out there, we say things, and we say, I'm a Christian, but I'm not black. I don't appreciate. But we know deep down inside, we love everything about us. We love the black experience. Kanye loves it. The black experience is what made Kanye all his money. The soul, every ounce of soul that he poured into his music. And I would love for Kanye or Candace Owens to talk to me, because I'm not about attacking people, and everybody that follows my platform knows that. I don't attack people. I don't debate with malicious intent. I understand. Even when I interview people, one of the things they say is that, Rich, I love that you understand everybody's perspective and your objective and your questions. So it ain't about When we become quote unquote spiritual, we learn about the Kundalini rising and the third eye. You know how many people learn about the pineal gland and they're just like, you know what, I'm not black, fuck that. I'm giving up this black shit. I learned about the third eye and I am the third eye and this and that. It ain't about that. It ain't about, you're not allowed to acknowledge slavery. You're not allowed to acknowledge racism. You know, we think we ignore it completely because we're like, oh shit, I don't want to give energy to it. I got to ignore it. And I get that aspect, and that's where the paradox comes in. I get that you want to ignore it. I get that. But that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that it's not a part of the collective consciousness of humanity at the time. We get this knowledge and we're like, oh shit, I gotta ignore this because I don't want it to be a part of me. And we end up suffering because we don't believe this shit. OJ ain't believe that shit. Bill Cosby ain't believe this shit. Everybody that got the nigga wake up call in Hollywood, that was a representation of a guilty resonance field that existed within them. That represented itself of somebody pointing out their guilt. Their guilt got exposed. OJ's guilt got exposed. Kanye's guilt is getting exposed. All these nigga wake up calls, and not just Hollywood. We see it happen in everyday life. That black experience, that nigga wake up call from all black people, and it could be the average, the dude that got killed earlier by the police this year. He was talking shit like that is a part of our guilt that's being put out there. Because we, you know, whatever you're guilty about, whatever you feel guilty about, it comes to the light. It comes into your reality. It comes out. It comes out. Because it's such a strong guilt. It's such a strong vibration. It's such a strong, that's why I can't do shit I feel guilty about. It will come out because I feel so strong about it. It lingers in me. So it comes out, and it comes out in different forms. And it exposes how I truly feel, what I'm truly about. So what happened with OJ? He said all that shit, I'm not black, or OJ. Last year, you know what happened when he got caught? He said, I think this was racially motivated. Bill Cosby said all that shit, and what happened last year? What? Not just last year, this year. His lawyer said this was racial. Bill Cosby said this shit is racial. Bill Cosby, you been know you thought shit was racial, but you felt like you had to choose. You didn't embrace the paradox. You had to choose either or. You had to be a black. You had to be black. You had to choose black spirituality, black nobility. You had to choose this black wealth, and you had to give up this black pride because black pride is associated with the struggle. We could do both. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I do sometimes? Sometimes I watch TD Jakes because he got jewels. But you know what? I'm metaphysical like a motherfucker. I don't believe in the human Jesus. I believe Jesus was a representation of who we can be. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ was, like the Bible said, Jesus Christ, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing Jesus did that we can't do. So no, I don't believe what the church says. But that don't mean I can't listen to the church, because I understand a deeper meaning of Jesus and God and the Christ and the Lord and the Savior and this and that. I understand a deeper meaning. I understand where they're coming from and what they need at that time. Certain people need certain things to be who they are, to be good people. You can't force. That's why they say when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. You can't force knowledge on anybody. It's not right. And when you force it on somebody, actually, it's part of your ego. And a lot of times teachers aren't confident in what they're saying. It's like, you know, the saying misery loves company. A lot of times you believe in something, you really don't, but you're not that confident in it. But what strengthens your confidence or makes you feel good about believing it or doing it is if other people do it. So let's say I cheat on my girl and I do this or I do that. Or I have threesomes every other night. The first day, or I have sex with prostitutes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to convince people that have sex with prostitutes or cheating on a girl or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I need somebody else to do that so I feel good. So if I believe that, if I have Morse information, I'm not coming at the Morse, or if I have metaphysical information, or whatever information I have, and I see that I'm in the minority of this information, I got to teach it to get other people to believe it just so I feel good about this information. So sometimes the teachers approach it from such an ego standpoint that it's not genuine. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to understand things. And like I said, this is like from a totally, this is not from a linear, this is more, the title of the program will get people that's not into metaphysics watching it. But for people that's watching it, they totally get what I'm saying. So we need less of this linear space-time experience and more of a simultaneous holographic one. And what I mean by that is that, we have to embrace different ideas that contradict each other at the same time and understand both of them. I'm going to keep drilling that point home. And, if my community, like I said, Bashar talks about this. I've heard people talk about this. And I need my community to understand that you don't have to choose. One of the things that I like about what Kanye said is that, besides all the cooning, because he did coon, but like I said, I'm appreciating the paradox. I appreciate the fact that he makes black people think about the Democratic Party. I appreciate that Candace Owens make black people. I don't know where the hell did this undervoted allegiance come from? This undervoted allegiance where we're just like, the celebrities and Hillary Clinton and the Roland Martins and the dancing of Hillary Clinton. It's like, where the hell did this come from? And we have cognitive dissonance. We have this dissonance where we'll reject information in front of us about the super predators or whatever, because all we understand is the word Democrat. And we understand that we have to choose Democrat or Republican. So if we choose Democrat and we acknowledge the super predator, it's going to make us feel guilty. So you know what we do? We push all that information that makes us feel bad, that makes the Democratic Party feel bad. We push all of that to the side, and we just acknowledge the Democrat aspect of Hillary Clinton. Because we have this cognitive dissonance that exists inside of us that says, in order for me to accept this information, I don't want to feel guilty about it. I don't want it to contradict something else I believe. But paradox is the point of power. Contradiction sometimes, my friend, is the point of power. You could be a Democrat, ain't nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with this. What I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with being a Democrat and acknowledging what Hillary. There's not even listen. The way I think, you could vote for Hillary if you want to, cool, because you could say she's the lesser powers of Donald Trump, but still acknowledge all the super predator shit and this and that. Don't just throw that to the side and act like that don't exist and defend that, knowing you don't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel as though, oh shit, I didn't pledge allegiance to this thought paradigm, this thought resonance. So if I pledge allegiance to this thought resonance, I can't accept nothing negative or nothing bad that comes with it. And that's what we do. We feel like, oh shit, I'm a part of this, so I can't even acknowledge it. Oh shit, I'm a Catholic. You know what we do? Oh shit, I'm a Catholic. I can't acknowledge them priests that's raping and molesting kids because it's going to make me feel guilty about being a Catholic. Okay, be a Catholic, but still acknowledge, what's going on in the priest. And I'm not saying I will never be Catholic, and I don't believe it. I think that's like crazy. But I understand why some people want to be Catholic. But what I'm saying is, just because you're something, don't reject the negative information that comes with that consciousness that you're affiliated with. They say, Rich, you're a part of the conscious community. I can't reject all the things I hear about it. Okay, I hear about all the negative things I hear about the conscious community. I have to, okay, that's cool. Just like if I was a part of Hollywood, I can't just say I'm a part of Hollywood and the casting couch don't exist. That's what they did. The Harvey Weinsteins don't exist. This don't exist. We have to, because it makes me feel bad because I'm a part of something and I have to acknowledge that this exists with what I'm a part of. So the paradox is that, and I know the right people I know somebody right is going to hear this and they're going to holler at me and they're going to be like, yo, that's some shit. And like I said, I want to thank Bashar, gentleman, that talks about paradox, and he helped me understand paradox more, and he helped me get out of that either or paradigm, because it's a very limiting paradigm, very limiting. So you want to get out that paradigm and you want to get into that this and that. It's this and that. Kanye's right and wrong. Candace Owens might be right and wrong at the same time. She might be a little more wrong than right, in your opinion, or a little more right than wrong. But there's nothing wrong with saying that, I'm this and that. I like views from the Republicans and the Democrats. Our people have to get out of this mindset that is this or that. I'm Christian or I'm this or we box ourselves in too much. I remember when people used to buy DVDs from me, they said, "Oh, conscious people don't curse." Conscious people, they told me all the quote unquote rules of what a conscious person does, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they try to box me in so much. I'm like, oh shit, I would have been such a slave. There would have never ever been a Brother Rich or this program because I would have been such a slave. I couldn't do what I do. I couldn't do what I do because I would have been such a slave if I would listen to people. I wouldn't have got where I've gotten by listening to people. So Candace Owens talks a lot about this victim mentality that black people have. And like we need to not focus on the past. And I get it to a certain extent. And I don't want our people to focus on the past in terms of thinking that we're victims. But that doesn't mean we have to ignore the past. I don't want our people to ignore. I don't want people to be so much in the police brutality that we think we don't have hope. But that doesn't mean I want our people to ignore what's going on. We could acknowledge. I want our people to acknowledge what's going on. Use this power of paradox and become motivated by what's going on. Because somebody would say, how can you get motivated by seeing a young boy? The recent example, the young boy getting accused of sexual assault by the white lady in the store in Brooklyn. Like that shit was crazy. And a lot of people look at that and they will be so down by that. And they'll be like, oh my God, when is it going to change? We've been suffering for so long as a black race. What I'm saying is when you see things like this, my family, because our emotions have so much energy to it, our emotions are they're very powerful. They help create our reality. It's energy and motion. We're the currency. So we fuel this reality. So what I'm saying is you don't have to choose. I'm not going to watch any of this because this hurts me. What I'm saying is you could do that. But what I'm saying is even if you don't choose to do that, you don't have to criticize people who are fighting the struggle for black people. You don't have to criticize people who have pride in being black. You know what I'm saying? You could be influential. You could be rich. You could be a millionaire, billionaire, if you understand me metaphysically, and still be proud and still love being black and still help your people at the same time. You don't have to make a choice. We think we have to make a choice. Once we hit that milli, once we hit that billy, we got to stop looking out for our people. We got to stop having black pride. Nah, man. This cosmic, this quantum world we live in has unlimited possibilities. But we've been taught this either or paradigm so hard that we think if I get money, I got to get this pro-black shit up. We ain't got to. And our brain can't understand it. And our brain will say, but how? Look at everybody else. They had to. No. Don't worry about the how. Let go and let God, like the Christians said. That's one of the best phrases Christians got is let go and let God. Let the universe figure that out, how it'll happen. It'll happen. You know what I'm saying? It'll happen. Look at Elijah Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? Straight businessman. Straight pro-black. I mean, look what he did for the people. It'll happen. Stop. Let's get out of this. And like I said, I'm not going to be long, but let's get out of this either or paradigm. That is, and I see somebody wrote past, present, future, all the same. Yeah, it is all the same. We are literally tapping into, we're literally, let's say we're radio. You know how you got your radio? Let's say you got a radio and you're tuning into 105.1. We're like a radio and we're tuning into the different frequencies of the universe or different frequencies of God. It's not past, present, and future. It's just frequencies we're tuning into. So I could tune into any frequency I want. I just been taught that I have to tune into a certain frequency of a car, of hip hop, or this or that. What happens with people that tune into totally different frequencies, they say, yo, you living in the past, or you living in the future, or you futuristic. There's really nothing that's futuristic. He just tuned into a frequency that was so different from everybody else that they call it futuristic, but it exists at the same time as our present frequency. So I could tune into a frequency where we're on Mars and I have the ability to travel at the speed of light, and I discovered 8 new colors, and I discovered 8 new sounds and 8 new instruments, and they say, yo, Brother Rich was so ahead of his time. It's not that I was ahead of my time. Brother Rich tapped into a frequency. Brother Richard wasn't limited by the frequencies that they taught me. Brother Rich understood that All possibilities exist at the same time. And I just tapped into something, into the almighty presence of God. This thing we call God is the almighty presence. It's not the future. It's the almighty presence. So when I come up with an idea, right, I'm like, yo, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill the game. I'm going to do this. I got these ideas we come up with. They already exist. We're just tuning into it. Remember what I said about the radio? We're tuning into it. We're tuning, I tune into a radio station nobody else tuned into. That already exists. Everybody else is on 105.1. I tune into 108.2. And they're like, what the fuck? Where this nigga come up with this idea? I just tuned into a frequency that nobody else was willing to tune into. Everybody else thought we was limited to these certain frequencies, these limited time, space frequencies. But I'm trying to tell you that, this universe is holographic. It's, like the person wrote in the chat, past, present, and future exists at the same time. And you could tune into anything you want at the same time, family. Don't get caught up in time. Don't get caught up in and don't get caught in a box. Don't get caught up in the either or paradigm. Don't get caught up in I got money now, so I can't be it makes no sense to be pro-black because that's going to hurt my pockets. We really think if we got money and we be pro-black and we love ourselves and we say the word black and we love our color, that's going to hurt our pocket. No, that's not the case. That's what we've been taught. Poor righteous teachers, so when we become spiritual, I gotta give that shit. That's for the poor righteous teachers. That's for the 5%ers. That's for the, that's for the people who want to live meek or whatever. Nah, you could be very proud of who you are and be wealthy at the same time. Ultimately, this whole reality is just advanced thought forms. So nobody dictates what happens to you but you. We just incarnated in a default program. So it seems like the white man, or it seems like somebody's dictating to us, the government or whatever, what's happening. But that's the challenge that we decided to participate in. We incarnated in a default program that already existed, and we have to change that program. It's fun. It's like it's video game shit, straight up. Ready Player One type shit. Look at the movie Ready Player One. Ready Player One type shit. Yeah, it's video game type shit. We incarnated to some shit that already conditions that already existed. Some motherfuckers incarnated and their hearing is bad. They got one arm or all types of shit. They're black and they're discriminated against on a consistent basis and the police ain't shit. Or they're white and they don't have melanin so they can't tap into certain frequencies. We all have these conditions that we incarnate in, and the goal is to overcome them because ultimately there is no ceiling. There is no limit. It's an illusionary ceiling. It's illusionary. You know what I'm saying? We can overcome any. No, nobody's. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I see we're not victims, but don't hit me with that coon shit. I know you can feel like you got to choose the either or paradigm and you got to coon because cooning is going to make you successful and wealthy and it's going to make you not a victim. But at the end of the day, you're not happy. I can see it in your eyes that you're not happy. You can see it in a lot of coons' eyes that they not happy saying the cooning shit that they say, but they felt they had to choose. So for all the people that's cooning out there, and for all the people that's not cooning, all the people that feel like they got to be pro-black. Because if I'm calling them coons, what's the people that's pro-black? All the people that feel like they got to be pro-black and fucked up in life. Because that's the best way I could say it with y'all. You don't have to be. All the people that feel like they got a coon to be successful, you don't have to be. You don't have to choose either or. You could encompass all of that. It's not a choice. Let's get rid of this linear mentality. Because I could tell the pro-black people, y'all not really happy being fucked up. You feel like if you have money, you got to sacrifice your integrity, and you don't. I'm here to tell you don't. Like I said, there's unlimited possibilities in the quantum universe. You don't have to sacrifice your integrity to be wealthy. It's out there. Tap into that radio station, like I said, that nobody else tapped into. You think you have to sacrifice your integrity because you didn't see anybody else not sacrifice their integrity. You didn't see anybody else tune into that radio station, that frequency. So you think you got to stay on that frequency that everybody else pro-black stayed on, and you don't. You could tune into a different radio station, completely different, It's infinite parallel realities. And that's something else Kanye talked about. Parallel realities. Just another word for frequencies. We're just tuning into frequencies. That's all we're doing. Billions of times per second where we think we have a motion picture. There's different pictures, but we're tuning into them so fast, it appears to be motion. We're just tuning into different frequencies. That's all we're doing. We got to get rid of this limited mindset, man. Either side ain't happy. The pro-black side ain't happy being fucked up, and the coon side ain't happy cooning. But we don't understand how the world, how the universe works. Look at paradox. That's where your point of power is at. It doesn't have to be either or. And I'm here to deliver this message to the black community, especially today, because we get caught up in it a lot because of our particular experience in this paradigm. Listen, I'm gonna get off here. I'm not gonna stay too much long. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I think that sums up everything. Just another thing. We, in terms of we think we know how the revolution is gonna happen. We think we know how this is gonna go down, or the change of the paradigms is going to happen, or how the Age of Aquarius is going to be ushered in. We have no idea. Just like if you want to make a lot of money and you're like, damn, I want to be a millionaire, and then all of a sudden you get fired from your job and you think your life is horrible, and you're like, oh my God, I just try to put out positive intentions and things are getting worse for me. Things aren't getting worse. Things are actually getting better. It's just that your brain, remember what I talked about, is designed to do a certain thing, and it doesn't understand how the higher self works. So it'll tell you shit is getting worse for me. So when we see this, we think, oh, shit is getting worse for me. But it's really not. We just don't understand how things is going. So we don't understand how the universe is working. So the universe may use Trump. Man, there's a lot of good things that's coming out of Trump. Not consciously that he's doing, but what I'm saying is people, the way people are waking up. So if you would have asked anybody pro-black, how are we going to wake up black people? Nobody would have ever said, we got to put a white extremist in the office. Nobody would have never said that, because we don't think like that. We would have said, I need another Malcolm X. I need another Martin Luther King. I need another Marcus Garvey. We would have never said, I need a Donald Trump. We don't think like that. We don't think like that, family. So the world is waking up right now. Everything you see around you, think of it from the glass half full instead of the glass half empty. Everything's a teaching moment. We're learning a lot, and I want us to understand each other more and not argue about it's either this or that. He's either cooning or this. No, it's a little bit. It's both. It's both. He's cooning. He got points. It's both. Or this person or this. We get it spiritual. I got to do this or I got to do that. I got to raise my kundalini or I got to be pro-black. You can raise your kundalini and be pro-black at the same time and appreciate your skin color, whatever, at the same time. But understand that this is a movie. This is a role. You could understand that you are a spirit and appreciate the fact that you're a man, a black man at the same time. You could appreciate the fact that you're a spirit and appreciate the fact that you're a white man at the same time. Appreciate your experience, but understand that your experience does not define you. Let me say that again. Appreciate your experience, acknowledge your experience, but understand that your experience doesn't define the ultimate you, the greater you. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels of you, multi-dimensional you. You know what I'm saying? So with that, let me just check out my family, Master Self, Master Universe. Yeah, let me see. You talking that talk, Brother Rich? Yeah, okay. I appreciate all the support, everybody. Twilight Zone. Yeah, everybody else. All right, family. So I appreciate everybody looking. Like I said, not a long show. I actually been on here 48 minutes. But I just, I was doing my studying. I was looking through things and just, sometimes you get this the inspired thought to do something and you should just do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know I keep saying, I know this is going to reach the right person, the right people, should I say. So hopefully Candace Owens or Kanye, I would love to have a dialogue with either one of them. You know what I'm saying? in terms of their, what they're saying and what I'm saying. So with that being said, family, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. On that note, let me see what Brother Rich pulled this straight out of the Kabbalion greatness. Yeah, man, that this the metaphysics help you really, and that's what, that's what helps me be such an objective person who asks questions. Because I'm not offended by any point of view, and I understand everybody has their point of view, and I can ask questions based on everybody's point of view. Shout out to Photograph. I'm always donating with the 4444. Appreciate your support, my brother. You're always in the super chat showing love. That means a lot when somebody show support. But I forgot my exact thought, man. But I'm just appreciative that I could deliver this message to my YouTube family today. And I appreciate everybody who's in the chat room, who filled up the chat room, and who's watching, viewing, listening, whatever. And I hope everybody got something out of this. Like I said, once again, the GOAT video shoot is on Sunday, 1 o'clock, Rucker Park. Myself, Cambada, Loaded Lux, the GOAT remix. Shout out to Loaded Lux. He got a banger on the radio right now, Gravy. Make sure you YouTube that Gravy Loaded Lux. My brother's putting in that work, and he got some feel-good music out there that's going to raise the frequency. And I'm coming out with I got an announcement. I ain't even going to say it tonight, but I got a major announcement coming for December and for next year, and it's absolutely amazing. It's going to take humanity to the next level. A major announcement that's going to take humanity to the next level. So I guess I'll give y'all, I'm waiting for word back from a couple of people, but I'll make that announcement next week or something like that. Or later, today's Friday, so shit, yeah, probably this weekend or next week. But thanks for tuning in, family.